So now that I'm not recording at 4K and in the highest possible bit rate on my phone, let's kind of go over what we did in the first kind of like 30 minutes of this little experiment.
Basically, we just set our goals and we were establishing baselines. So right now I'm watching 10 minutes of a movie.
Echo. Stop. I paused a lot.
Now we are trying to understand a song.
Okay. That was rough. I basically had to copy paste every sentence to Google Translate.
Then we were attempting to understand some Spanish poetry.
Wow. I feel like I did not understand any of that.
After that, we tried reading a page of a book on Hispanic literature.
Oh, okay. We're just doing one page instead of 10 because that was rough.
We then listened to 5 minutes of a random comedy podcast.
Okay, we did the podcast.
And finally, we talked to ChatGPT. Already in the first episode, we started by getting our baselines, and now we're finally getting into some practice.
I'm never going back to work.
So as you can see, I picked a show. So the show I picked was Money Heist. It's on Netflix. It's a great show. It's important to pick a show that's very compelling to kind of keep you wanting to study. So that was the end of hour 2, beginning of hour 3.
You're going to... Okay. I'm going to do what I'm telling you.
As you can see, basically what I'm doing here is just, I have a split screen of Netflix and Google Translate. I translate any words I don't understand.
¿Qué hago? What are you doing? I do.
And then for any of the harder sentences, I just switch back and forth between English and Spanish subtitles. Alrighty, this is the beginning of hour 4, and basically we're just still watching Money Heist and doing the best we can.
The smug look on, or the smart-ass look on your face. Menudo gilipollas. What is gilipollas? Idiot.
As you can see, we're learning some very important vocabulary. And I really was starting to feel good here. It's important to note that I'm not starting from scratch. I did study Spanish a lot in high school, and now I'm continuing it at university. But it's always been in a formal class setting, and I've never really gotten it. And so that's kind of what this series is for.
They could hear. They could listen to. Oírnos.
I really did feel like I was starting to get my groove here. And anytime I couldn't understand the sentence with just subtitles or Google Translate, I used ChatGPT. Can't recommend it enough.
Sincerely, I don't think we would be an ideal pair. I don't think we make, honestly, I don't think we make a good couple.
Honestly, this hour flew right by. Way faster than 2 or 3. Let's keep this trend going. So we're back into another episode of Money Heist. Really just going absolutely ham translating and going to ChatGPT. So I found a new approach for this video in that all the words that I feel like I want to keep studying, I actually put those words into ChatGPT, and at the end of the session, I'll ask them to make Anki flashcards based on the words that I stated.
It goes very fast. Faster than speed sound.
So you can see right around here is when I end up actually finishing the first episode. And I want to point out that it took me 3 hours to finish this first episode. Now that sounds like a lot, but it's a start. And I'm very, very excited to see where I end up at 100 hours in this series.
Also, cubrimos covering. Also, we're covering but shooting at the ground. We also covered you, but by shooting at the ground.
So with about 10 minutes left, I'll go ahead and make my flashcards using ChatGPT and Anki, and I'll go ahead and start studying those. So right here, we're going to be going through the cards that we made in the last episode.
Wearing. Lleva is a thing you say when you're trying to say like wearing. Puesto.
We're going to be finishing up the deck here pretty soon and getting into Money Heist.
I finished. Okay, now we watch it.
Now we're trying to go through that same old process of getting vocab, translating sentences we don't understand, and plugging those sentences into chat so that we can then access those prompts later to turn into Anki flashcards so we can review them long term.
OBS. If I would have also been buzzing.
Making watching shows my Spanish practice has done wonders, and I think it's going to keep me going throughout this series. Definitely something I'm always going to come back to, even if I go to other methods for practice. It's just so fun, to put it succinctly. What's about to show up is me actually turning my prompts into Anki cards. Basically, all you do is you ask ChatGPT to spit out a Anki card deck, you copy paste it into a document, and then you put that into Anki.
And we are to invite. And we are to send. Morada. Purple. I love that one.
At this point, I've gotten used to the workflow of doing Anki before getting into the show, and we're pretty much flying through it.
Okay, estáis, you all are. Regañados. I just did this one I just wrote down. It is scolded. That feels good.
As you can see, I tend to talk to myself quite a bit while I'm studying, just to keep things interesting.
But you understand that I must salvaguard, protect, safeguard my identity.
Something to keep in mind is that I don't add every phrase I don't understand into my cards. I try to keep it simple and stray away from advanced phrases, at least for now.
Traje, suit, suit jacket, the gray suit jacket.
Once again, as I start to get closer to my end time, I try to get all of my Anki cards ready to go for the next practice session.
So this first week was really interesting, and I think I learned a lot. My 0 through 8 hours of practice. Some key things that I think I can take away from this first week is writing something down is really helpful when reviewing Anki. So when I get something wrong, I don't just like, oh, I got it wrong, do 1 minute and then, do it again. Because then I'm just gonna keep cycling through the cards, never actually retain anything. Writing it down, and specifically for me, closing my eyes while I write it down, so I'm not just like, copying, but I'm actually like, I have to visually see it in my head before I copy it down. That really helps for Anki. So if I pair 30 minutes of not boring, but let's say less stimulating, high yield studying with some lower stimulating, lower yield studying with Netflix and stuff like that, because let's be honest, it's not the best way to learn, but it is very fun. And even a less efficient method over a much longer time is going to yield much better results than just doing the high yield thing and then burning out super quickly.